how can we support ourselves living more intuitively every single day?
I love it. Oh, are you kidding me?
What is it?
Movement.
Oh my God. Hello and welcome to another episode of Goddess Hangs.
Episode 56.
Woo! We made it to 56, folks. What a monumental number.
The big 56.
You know what they say about 56?
When you get there, you've made it.
You heard it here first. I'm Sadie.
I'm Juliet. Obviously.
And we created Goddess Hangs podcast to make the world of mindset, manifestation, and magic more relatable and fun. So this is actually the first episode that we're recording in the new year because we had a little break. So we haven't seen each other.
I know.
In, I was going to say 2 months. It's felt like that. My first thought was actually 2 years, and that was dramatic. It's been 2 weeks, but boy, has it felt like 2 years.
It's felt like a very long time. I was so excited to come here today. I was counting down the days, so here we are.
All day yesterday to my cats, I was like, Auntie Juliet's coming over tomorrow. And they just look at me like, whatever, Mom.
Oh, they knew in their hearts. Boo got her a very shortened cuddle moment. She sat on my lap the entire time we were setting up to record. Yeah. So Sadie did everything by herself. And the second we began, she said, okay, I'm done, and walked out. Maybe she'll return later, but she made a brief appearance. And Sadie almost fell on her face twice during the setup, but she is okay.
It's because I have my clunky Ugg boots on. Winter at the beach means I have my Ugg boots on all day, every day. But they're the right size. They're not too big or anything, but I'm constantly tripping in them.
Oh, Uggs for me is when I have fallen upstairs.
Yep.
That's when I'm wearing Uggs.
Yep. They're honestly a danger for my physical well-being, but here we are. They're warm and cozy regardless.
Oh my gosh. So happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We're here in 2022 and we're here to hang out with you.
Ooh. I was waiting to see where that was going.
I didn't know. I just went with it.
I also want to mention, if you're listening, Sadie is wearing a very fashionable hat.
Yes, I am.
And if you've ever seen the movie starring Mary-Kate and Ashley entitled Passport to Paris, it looks a lot like the hat that the really pretty model wore when all the girls went shopping and tried on hats.
I forgot about that, but I'll share more, but I've been doing these little things to help me manifest a trip to Paris. So that's totally bizarre that's what that reminds you of.
Yeah, that's your Passport to Paris hat.
Well, guess what I'm packing when I go to Paris? Everyone's going to be stopping me like, are you that model from Mary-Kate and Ashley
movie in 1999?
You aged really well.
And you'll say, yes, that's me.
Yes, that's me.
That's me.
So what's new with you, Juliet?
Well, what's new with me is one thing that is new with me is I decided in 2022 I was going to be in better shape.
Same.
I was going to move my body. I don't have a weight goal. I don't have a size goal. I don't have an appearance goal. I literally don't care. But I just was like, I never move my body. So I joined a gym.
That's big.
And so now it's very big. And so now Victor and I go together and we're gym buddies.
That's nice.
And he says, have fun at your class. And I take a class and he does whatever he does.
Oh, I love that.
And then we leave and we either like get a smoothie or get dinner and then we go home. And it's really cute.
I like that. Craig has gone too much to get to do that like regularly together. But I've convinced him a couple times to like, because I have social anxiety when I go to a new place for the first time. So I can usually convince him like, can you go to this yoga studio with me just the first time? And he's very sweet and always says yes.
Aww.
So we've done yoga a few times together. And it's just fun. It's just fun to sweat together and you know, you get your endorphins going and you feel good. And it's like a very bonding thing. That's so sweet.
So it's been adorable. And so last night there wasn't a class I was interested in. So I was like, oh, I'll just walk on a treadmill for like 45 minutes. Because for me, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Victor's getting excited. He's like, well, you could do this workout and this workout. I'm like, honey, the fact that I'm doing anything is monumental.
We'll build up to that.
Let me just ease in. So it is fun being on my treadmill and I like look over my shoulder and, you know, my man's there like lifting a heavy thing. And there is something very, you know, I've never been particularly, I never cared about that. But then when you see your person doing it, it's like, oh, they're so strong. So it's great. I recommend it, going with your person as a little gym buddy thing. So yeah, I've taken a couple Pilates classes and I love it. It's so fun. And I just decided that it wasn't going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
I was like, whatever, I'm a member now. And then I just walked in and, you know, I think I always imagined I'd have to sign like a 2-year contract and like write down all my health. I don't know why in my head it was like this big deal to join a gym, but like you pay a sign-up fee and then you scan something on your phone when you walk in and then you wave goodbye when you leave. Like, it's really not a big deal.
Juliet sold her soul to the gym.
I mean, you see these remember the Friends episode where Chandler and Ross, or Chandler, one of them tries to quit the gym and they're like, you want to quit the gym?
Yeah.
And they bring out like the beautiful fitness model who's like, you can't, and then one of them ends up joining and then they both end. So I just was always like, oh, it's too much of a commitment, but it really isn't anymore. It's all done online. And I also always never wanted to join because I thought, oh, people, as if I'm somebody that people are going to approach at a gym. I thought, oh, all these men are going to come up and talk to me, and that has not happened. So
you just got to put your stink face on.
Yeah.
Also,
we're all wearing masks at this gym. So
yeah, I was like, I don't look good when I go to work out. I'm like, I'm not like looking like a pristine like I do when we record or whatever. Not that I look pristine. You know what I mean? Pristine. You know, you go at kind of your worst.
Talk about divine delusion. I was like, somebody who looks like me cannot go to a gym. And then I got there and I was like, Juliet, get over it. So that's been wonderful. Another topic of divine delusion that we were well, here, you tell me what's new with you in this realm and then I'll circle back to this.
Okay, yeah. So we are very much the same. We don't move. And it's part of it, I feel like, or this is what I've told myself in the past, why it's hard for me to move a lot. It's not the truth, because I feel so much better when I do. I've had waves in my adult life and I grew up dancing like so much, spending so much time moving, but I got super stagnant. And but I'm like, I just lost my train of thought completely.
The reason why you have told yourself you don't move?
Yeah, I don't remember what I was gonna say. What was the excuse? My brain completely
I don't know. Is it like a scar related? Is it like a...
Oh my God, I literally have never experienced that so quick. Like
the excuse,
that.
You know what? The excuse is
the universe said she is not telling herself this anymore. It's gone. It has disappeared. They were like, no, I don't remember. But anyways, I remember. Because I don't look any different really when I work out and when I don't work out.
Well, that's nice.
Because
said no one ever.
I know. I'm like, I have such a horrible problem of... Someday though, my metabolism is gonna run out. Like, so after I have a child, it's gonna change, or sooner than that. I need to get into the habit of staying fit. But you know, so much of the fitness culture revolves around how you look because of it, even though that's not why you should work out. Mm-hmm. So to me, I'm like, I look the same. I know it's a horrible problem to have. But it feels like that's supposed to be the incentive, which it shouldn't be. But then I'm like, but I don't have that incentive. So, but I feel so much better when I do. And it's actually not the truth, because I look back on pictures from when I was really fit and I'm like, actually, I do look different. I look happier and healthier, and I do look more toned. And I do like when I look like that, you know? It's nice to like look healthy. So I made a specific intention for myself so I could, you know, quantify it and like really stick to it. So 45 minutes minimum movement every single day.
Wow.
Craig was like, try 4 or 5 days a week. And I was like, no, I'm doing it every single day, because if I give myself break days, that's how I tumble into like, it's fine to take one more day off. And it's not about like working out really hard every single day. It's like, go for a walk every single day. Do a like chill yoga stretch. It's not about like, I'm not like doing like hardcore cardio 7 days a week. I'm not doing that any of the days of the week because I still don't want to do that, because that's my other thing, is that like I don't like working out hard.
No, I don't either.
I just want to move every single day. So what's been exciting for me is that, well, one, right now we're doing a 30-day yoga challenge. Some of us in the Patreon group, shout out. And that's been so fun because I just want to, we'd have these like digital spells in there, and it's just so satisfying to click it after the day is done. We say like yoga with Adrienne day, blank done. So that's been fun to have the accountability there. And it's like very chill. It's only 30-minute class. So that's been fun. And then I started taking dance class.
The dancer has returned.
She's returned. So far I've taken a Latin workout class, which was so fun. We did salsa and samba and one other one, which is if you're like, holding your posture in and like standing how you're supposed to, it's quite the core workout, because you're constantly, it's like all your hips moving and like moving this way too. So it was really fun. And then I took a burlesque class. And everyone at this studio, oh my God, just the most excited, welcoming, just wonderful group. I'm like the youngest person there. Oh, actually there's one younger person. I think she's like a high schooler that's like really into dance, but otherwise everyone's in their like 40s or actually most of them are probably older than that. But what I like about it, and I've had an ego fight over it because it's kind of expensive. I don't like the word expensive, but it's pricey. Right after I called and found out how much it was, I like sent a voice message to Juliet, and I was like, oh my God, it's this much a month. I've been for 2 weeks dreaming about this. Is my new thing to go every single day, and you're telling me it's this much a month? No way. I can't do that. So I've been kind of like back and forth of like, how dare you spend that much a month on dance classes? And then my intuitive like higher self is like, just make more money. It's not that hard.
I mean, my knee jerk is like, do it for a month and see if you're in love with it, and if it's, you know what I mean? Like,
so I've been having that like back and forth, but there's a few things that I like really feel called to, that like it goes beyond just like the fun of like dancing. Is one, the people going there are, well, very welcoming and lovely people, but they're wealthy people, because it's a pricey dance studio. So being in that energy, and like the dance studio is beautiful. It's really like it's just a luxurious place to be. And I'm like, if I spend every day here and like with people that like this is how they spend their money, like this is exciting to like be in this energy and be one of them, So I was like, I feel like it's an expander in that sense, as well as just being so fun, because I love to dance. And I was walking to go get breakfast with one of my friends. Claire was here getting her nails done this morning.
Oh, fun.
So we went and got breakfast, and I was thinking about it. I was having this conversation in my head again. And then the biggest monarch butterfly I have seen flew right in front of me and landed. And by the time I took a video of it, I put it on my story. Maybe some of you will remember this when you're listening. It had kind of closed up its wings a little bit, but when it first landed, it had wings all the way out. And it was huge. It was this huge butterfly, and I felt like it was just my mom saying like, just do it, sweetie. Oh, it's fine, just do it. Like, and Craig said too, he was like, I have never seen you happier or have more joy on your face than when you come home from dance class to tell me about it, all excited and jumping up and down. And I was like, you're right, I just need to do it.
Oh, I love that.
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be an expander. It's so easy to afford it. It's no big deal. But it's just been an interesting, it's like forcing myself to like level up a little bit and be like, it's fine to spend that amount of money on that. No problem.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's sometimes if something affects our happiness and our energy that much, and we can find a way to make it work, it's priceless.
Yeah. And and maybe you're feeling this way about wanting to move more this year too. Like, I'm just getting so many messages about like, that's how you're going to open up to all the ideas we're trying to like flow through you even more so. Like, we've both, and this is what the episode is going to be about today, is going to be about living intuitively. And we've both been doing an excellent job at that. But that was like my message for this year, was like, this is a huge priority. Is this last year, I think, was a lot of technical work of putting things into place. I mean, most of the year I sat 7 hours a day at my desk almost every single day or more, just trying to figure out stuff, trying new things, putting things into place. And my message was like, okay, you did that. No more. You spend maybe an hour a day at your desk. Sure, there'll be days like that still, but like most of the time you're out and you're moving and you're just letting things come to you, and like you're taking notes on your phone and you're putting it into place the next day. That's it. Like, you're done being stagnant. If you want more new things to flow through you, you gotta move. So that was like a big lesson for me, and one thing I want to talk about for intuitively living when we get to that is like, movement is so important to open up to your intuition, because of course, like, if we are stagnant, the energy in our bodies gets stagnant, and intuition lives in our bodies. So it would only make sense that like energy would start blocking that if we're not moving and opening it up and you know, like allowing the energy to flow through us rather than just sitting in us, even if it's not negative energy, you know.
I also love, so when you say it like that, it makes me so much more excited to move. Right. Because to move for the sake of moving doesn't excite me. To move to change my body honestly doesn't excite me. But to move to feel better and to be more of an open channel and to move energy, that I can get behind. Yep. So I was sort of feeling that way too on the treadmill when it hit like minute 45, and I was feeling really good, and I was not running, to be clear. I was walking at a nice, happy pace.
That's what I do too when I go for walks. I'm like, I'm going to walk briskly.
Yeah. But I did I had music in, and I was starting to get ideas about stuff. And I was like, this probably isn't a coincidence that this is happening because I'm moving. Yep. So this year we're going to be moving our bodies more and just enjoying the process. Yep. Enjoying the process.
Like, moving, even if it's not like, moving 45 minutes a day doesn't mean I'm exercising 45 minutes a day, I guess. Like, I just want to like go walk outside and like experience the world. It's like a big part of being present. Like, how can we be present and enjoying our lives if we're sitting in front of our computer all day? You know, like, that's an important part of our jobs to do that and spend that time doing that. But that was my big message, where it's like, you don't need to do that to further your business. Like, it's gonna actually be, you know, if you want to do the quantum leaping, you're gonna get there faster through moving your body. And yeah, like, some of my posts that have done the best and stuff on Instagram and everything lately have been the ones where like Craig and I are riding our bike, and I'm like, hold on, I need to take a voice note, I just thought of something, and like I write it down. Like, those are the ones that do the best, not the ones where I'm sitting at my desk and I'm like, what should I post today? Oh, okay, I guess I'll write this. Those ones do so much better, the ones that come through when I'm moving. So it's like, it's just been a proven concept to myself in this first week of like trying this. So I'm excited to see, and I'm excited to, we're fit witches now. We're the witches that move.
Fit witch.
But to be clear, not really exercising.
Not really.
I mean, exercising. Dancing is exercising, but I'm not going and lifting weights or anything. I don't know if that will ever be me,
and that's okay.
I'm okay with that. Walking, yoga, dancing.
I wanted to. So now that, so it was so funny. So I had signed up on December 30th, and I realized that 2 days later you had announced to our group that you're like, I'm going to be doing movement. I was like, well, naturally we've selected the same thing.
Intentions. Yeah.
But we too we drive out of our way to go to the location of the gym that is like the brand new one, the luxurious one. There's one a block away from our house. Not as nice. We get in the car and we go to the nice one. Yeah. Because the environment, like you're saying with your dance studio, makes a difference. Putting yourself in good environments, even if you're just walking through neighborhoods of houses you want to live in someday, or going to a Starbucks to work that's in the type of neighborhood you want to be in, even if you're not spending $1, just being in a higher vibration environment does something to you.
Yep, totally.
I was also reading, well, I don't know enough, never mind. I don't know enough about this to say anything about it. We'll touch on this later. Never mind. But, this is what I wanted to say. So in the same way that I thought, I can't possibly go to a gym, all these people will never leave me alone. Which I realize is just silly. I also have such a divine delusion about my body. Like like all of a sudden, like my size 6 pants are getting a little small. Like it's, I'm growing up in my 30s. And
filling out my pants.
I'm like, these sizings are ridiculous. Like I'm a small woman. And I went into this Pilates class and I saw my, beautiful reflection amongst these other women who, in that moment I was like, oh, I'm not small. I was like, oh, I'm definitely not a size small anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, I have like childbearing hips. Like it was this moment of just enlightenment.
I know. The vast majority of the women in my dance class, I'm just tall, so they're a lot shorter, but a lot of them are really petite and small. And I was like, damn, I'm a curvy bitch. I love it though.
I'm like, I hope the Pilates doesn't change much of this.
Yeah.
So it's just funny how, there's... It's been an insightful week. Let's put it that way. I'm going to buy some jeans that fit me more comfortably, and I will stop declaring that I am an extra small woman. So yeah,
it's like sizing doesn't matter. I literally have no idea how much I weigh. I haven't weighed myself since high school.
I have no idea.
I have like a ballpark idea. But I don't know. I probably weigh way more than that now because that's from like 10 years ago. Or I weigh less. I don't know. I was so muscular in high school and, like muscle weighs more. So maybe I'm less, but I literally have no idea. And I'm thankful that I've never been concerned about weight.
I know. We are maybe the two only people in the world. And I know it's a small minority. And that we are unrelatable in this way.
Yeah.
But that we don't think about it much.
I did when I signed with a modeling agency, hair flip, for 1 year when I was like 20. It was awful. And I quit because it was for the first time in my life that I became self-conscious about my body. I literally stopped eating because they were like, lose 10 pounds from your thighs and ass, and I was like, okay, great. And then
let me just delegate where that weight drops.
And then I lost 10 pounds, but I was just a skeleton on the top because I've always been bottom heavy. Like I'm very thin on the top, and then my bottom not so much. So I lost 10 pounds, but I was just Skeletor on the top, and I still had a fat ass. But then they still praised me, and they were like, oh my god, how'd you do it? How'd you? And they tried to be responsible, like they'd check in and be like, what are you eating, and da-da-da. But I was like, no, I don't want to think about this. So I quit after a year.
Yeah, any job, any profession that's like, you really need to lose 10 pounds.
Yeah, and I was like,
is that really the job for me?
I was like, what? I was like, what's wrong with my thighs? I had no idea. I was like,
the answer is nothing was wrong with
there's
your thighs.
nothing. And I still am, I don't have whatever. There's nothing wrong with the way that I am or that any of us are, but it was just interesting because it was the first time I ever felt self-conscious about my body. Well, that's not true. When I was a dancer, I felt self-conscious, but not about weight so much as like, oh, I wish that my toes pointed more, and I wish that my back was more flexible, and I wish that I had longer legs and things like that. It wasn't so much about, I wish I lost weight, but I've had points in my life that I can relate to that, is what I want to say. And thankfully, it's not something that I struggle with now. So my heart is with any of you that struggle with body image. But my hot tip is throw the scale away. It doesn't fucking matter.
It just doesn't. And for me, it's been so much more life-giving to just go up a size and just adore myself.
Because that was actually that year when I was 20 was like, I was like, oh, I'm never weighing myself again, because I was obsessed with it. So
it's a year of fit witch, movement for pleasure.
Yep. Move because it's fun. Find things that are fun that you'll actually stick to.
Yeah.
You know, like you have classes you can go to. You have Victor to like have an accountability buddy. I'm like, dance class I'll actually go to. I love yoga classes too. I just wanted to just find a different kind of membership to join. But yeah, like find your thing. It really makes a difference. It's a mental health thing.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been loving it so far. And you, about 2 weeks ago, you would have, I probably have said it on here, like, you will never catch me in a gym.
Yep.
And then I just got this very specific download that was like, nope, you're going to join, you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be good for you.
It's funny because I hadn't really talked to you about it, but I've been thinking about this for weeks, where I was like, oh, it's so basic, but that's going to be one of my New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
But I didn't say anything to you about it. And so I feel like the universe was like, well, if Sadie's doing it, we better tell Juliet.
Yeah, they really, called both of us. Ring, ring.
They're like, boop, 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 boop. Yeah. Oh, Sadie's doing that? All right, I'll let her know.
Exactly. Okay, so that's new. It's a new year. We move our bodies this year. We love our bodies every year. What else is new? Oh, I did you started your Aligned AF.
Yep.
How's that been going?
It's been really great. So we had our first live call. I don't remember how many people are in it now. I think 13, which is
That's awesome.
One of my favorite numbers. So yeah, it's 3 live calls. The first call was all about cutting cords with 2021, which was really powerful, and setting our 3 goals for the year. Because I felt like whenever I set a bunch of goals, it's like your energy is so scattered, and it's more likely that you're going to just give up on all of it or almost all of it, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, 3 goals, that's it. But the idea of the 3 goals is that they sort of trickle down into allowing other desires to come into fruition as well. So let's say I'll give one example. So, and this is a fun story. So one of mine, I picked 3 areas of life to focus on. One of them is health and fitness, and then one of them is career and business. And I wrote down all of the desires I wanted. So, earn a certain amount each year, grow my following, grow my audience, grow the podcast listening by a certain amount. One of them was to be featured in, like magazine articles, news features, podcast interviews, that kind of thing. And then, I don't know, there's a bunch of desires, right? So then I looked through those and I was like, well, which one of these could I focus my energy on that would trickle down into these other things happening? Those things will come into fruition too. And I was like, oh, I'm going to choose being featured in a certain amount of like podcast interviews, that kind of thing this year, because that would grow my audience, which would lead to more sales, and that will grow our listening, and that will do all of the other things that I want. So there's like one place to focus your energy that will allow other things to come into fruition. But I'm not like, oh, I have to figure out how to do this, and I have to figure out how to do this, and I have to figure out to do this. I can just be like, this is what I'm doing, and I'm going to allow these other things to follow suit, right? So that was one of my 3 goals for the year, was to be featured on podcasts, magazines, whatever, as myself and as Goddess Hangs.
Love it.
Okay, so I shit you not, I wrote down this goal, and the first Monday of the new year, I get an email that says, Sadie, would you like to be an interview on my podcast? And I'm like, what the fuck? That was fast. I didn't, like, my plan was like, I'm going to focus on outreach for us and, putting it out into the universe that we want this, and I'm going to be reaching out. That was the point of my goal. And the universe was like, babe, no problem. Here. We'll start you off on the right foot. Here's one for you. We'll just send it to you. And it was so bizarre because I'm going to be on I'm not going to say who yet, but I'm going to be on a podcast that she's a psychic. And so I emailed her back and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so funny. One of my New Year's intentions was to be featured on podcasts. And here you are on the first Monday of the new year reaching out to me. And she was like, oh my God, I was going to reach out to you months ago and Spirit said, wait.
Wow.
And I got the nudge today to finally do it.
Wow.
The universe was just waiting. I'm getting chills. The universe was just like, hold on. She's not quite there yet. Just let her. We're going to wait. She's going to come here and ask for it, and then we'll send her over. And then the next day, right? Was it Tuesday? Or no, it was the same day. It was on Monday.
Was it the same day?
I think so.
I mean, it was within 24 hours. How about
no, it was... Yeah, because I was getting ready for my Latin dance class. That was Monday. So the same day, I also hear news that another big podcast wants to schedule Juliet and I on it together. And I'm like, bro, I said this 2 days ago over the weekend, and Monday comes and they're like, here's 2. And I said 8 over the whole year, and now I only have 6 left. And I'm like, well, I'll make it 12 because
wow,
1 a month. But we've already got 2 in not even the first month, the first day, the first working business day of the new year.
I love it.
We booked 2 podcasts. So that was bizarre and crazy, and just goes to show that when you get hyper focused on what you want, and just leave it up to the rest. I didn't say it has to be this, and this person or place that it's going to be. I just said, I want, 8 of them. And immediately the universe was like, well, here's 2.
I love that.
So that was really cool.
So that was week 1. Week 2 of...
so then we're going to be focusing in on creating daily habits that will... put us in the right energy to like manifest very quickly. Beautiful. So like raising our vibration, creating aligned habits, like making these goals a priority as part of just our normal everyday life. Like we were just talking about, like, what if, exercise doesn't have to be exercise, it's just like moving every day to feel good. So figuring out how to like incorporate these goals into our lives in that manner, and also creating like habits and rituals around it. So this will be involving some like witchy stuff that I do on a regular basis that helps keep me, like grounded and in line with my goals. And then the final week is going to be planning out like the year, like this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to make it happen. So yeah, it was really fun. We did a spell and we charmed our planners. We did a spell on our planners to like infuse magic into the year, which was fun. And yeah, I'm excited for the next 2 calls.
Awesome.
Yeah. And you had your Confident Goddess live call.
Oh my gosh, I did. So the grand opening of Confident Goddess got 20 signups, which was really exciting because I had never done a Confident Goddess course before. And anyone who signed up by a certain date was able to attend this live call, and we did this beautiful guided meditation together. And now everyone has asked me to please make a little meditation guided album project. So I'm going to be working on that this month. So that's a little teaser for those of you who've been asking. I'm excited to do that. I have the names of I think it'll be 5 meditations. I have like the cool names picked out. Yeah. So I'm excited.
What's fun about being in our Patreon is like they're kind of helping Juliet. Like Juliet was able to say like, what do you want out of this? And they're helping like form this project a little bit with you. Oh, sorry, I just kicked Boo.
So
you always go where my foot is. She looks at me like, Mom, you kicked me again.
It was this really special meditation where, when I gear up to do a guided meditation, I don't plan it ahead of time.
I do the same thing.
And I just see what happens. And this one was really profound. It was like, I want you to picture a white light around yourself, and we're going to go through these I am this, I am this, I am this, these statements together. And as you say and embody every one, the light around you is going to get bigger, and with every statement a new guide is going to step forward for you. So it could be a loved one who passed away, it could be a spirit guide, it could be an angel, it could be an alien, it could be, for me, I kept seeing animals. My whole room was filled with animals by the end. It was like bunnies would hop up and deer and like birds would fly in. And afterwards, the feedback was like even I was moved.
Yeah.
It's like, where did that even come from? So if you want to experience that, you can, of course, enroll in Confident Goddess at any time, and you can watch that replay. That will be available forever within the course. But it was just wonderful, and I felt like these amazing goddess women are going to have the best year. Oh, look who wanted to be with mommy today.
Boo's never sat in my lap during the podcast before. I'm gonna start crying. I mean, she cuddles me every single day, but what are you doing over here?
She needs you. She went to the vet, so she
ain't feeling so good. You were really grumpy last night, weren't you?
She needs her mommy.
She got 2 shots, a test, but she's all good.
So it was just so special. It was so special, and everybody lit their own candle, and then I also lit a candle, so there were 21 candles lit. It was just wonderful, and I'm already seeing the girls like putting it into action, and in our group chat, everyone's talking about like, oh yeah, that's so confident goddess of you, and it's really cute. I love it. And now I feel also like we're all accountable to one another, and I feel accountable, like I'm being held accountable by them because they know what my big goals are for this year, and now I'm gonna do it because they're all watching me. So yeah, it was just wonderful. Just a great way to start the year.
And you can sign up for Confident Goddess at any time, correct?
Anytime. Yeah. Absolutely anytime. Yeah.
So exciting.
And if you want to start your year off, don't wait. This is the great time to get in the energy.
Yes.
The energy.
Confident Goddess. Boo is a confident goddess.
Oh, yeah.
She ain't afraid to ask for what she wants. And she'll tell you when she's not happy.
I'm trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to catch you up on. I listened to a whole podcast about spirit babies.
Oh.
Because I'm very interested in that. And the idea is that our future babies are in our auric field and hang out with us and choose us. And sometimes when there's like a spiritual component to like if a woman miscarries, if a person who is pregnant miscarries, instead of perhaps blaming oneself or one's body, that little spirit baby just wasn't ready yet. And I was just listening to all these. It was just a really beautiful, the podcast. I just typed in spirit babies into Spotify. Okay. And it was a woman, and her podcast was about like modern fertility or something fertility. I am not trying to have a baby right now, but I am interested in like how can I connect to my future babies. It's kind of, so I wanted to tell you that.
That's cool. I feel a little boy around me that's anxiously awaiting to come through, and I'm like not yet, little one. I think my mom I've said it before, I think my mom wants to reincarnate as my little boy. So I don't know, but every time an intuitive person talks to me, they're like, oh, there's a baby that wants to come through, and I'm like, I know. Megan told me the same thing. She's like, are you trying to get pregnant? I was like, not right now. Yeah, she was like, a baby soon? And I was like, no, but I know they're anxiously waiting there. This one girl messages me all the time that she has dreams about me and my child, and I'm like, she's a psychic. I'm just like, I know, but I'm not ready yet.
So maybe what we'll do is down the line, when we're closer to that stage in our journey, we'll invite somebody on who's an expert in spirit babies. Because I would just be like, tell me more.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting to hear about.
Ooh, yeah, we should definitely interview someone about spirit babies. We could do that now, because it doesn't mean we have to have them.
True. My grandpa used to always say, we choose our parents. He was very spiritual. My grandpa was actually, he and I weren't terribly close. I was around him a lot, but it wasn't like that magical grandparent bond. But he was around, he came to my shows, he was lovely. But he used to travel the world being like a spiritual teacher.
Oh.
Which I like never put 2 and 2 together.
Runs in the family.
And he also was a performer and an actor, and he did all these things. But he would always say that, and somebody else in my family, who I won't name, was like, I don't believe that for what I wouldn't have chosen my parents. And then I thought, well, but maybe you chose to come in at this time because you knew you would connect with these friends or your partner or your future children or whatever. But it was sweet to hear this spirit baby expert talk about this idea of the baby choosing you. And having heard my grandpa say that my whole life was kind of validating and sweet.
So there's this excellent book. It's a fiction work, but it really solidified like reincarnation for me and the purpose of it and what it means. So it's called Reincarnation Blues.
I need to read it. You've recommended it.
I think I talked about it before. But basically you have 10,000, and this is the book. This is the way it sets it up. You have 10,000 lives and you gradually become enlightened throughout these lives. So your soul's purpose is to live every sort of life. And sometimes people achieve enlightenment in 1,000 lives. Sometimes it takes 5,000 lives. But ultimately you're reaching enlightenment to like cross over and stop reincarnating, which, you know, I kind of think like you can become like a spirit guide type or like a something like that. You kind of like get promoted in the spirit world. But so this story follows Milo, you meet him at life like 9,990 or something. He's got 10 chances left, and he's the oldest soul there is because most souls are enlightened before then. And you're kind of hopping between lives he's already lived and these final ones he's living. But the idea is when you pass, you meet with your spirit team, and this is different than your earthly, like when you're a human and your spirit team. This is like a consulting. They're always with you in the in-between, and they're like, okay, this is what you learned in this life. What kind of life comes next? What lesson do you need to learn? So if you are living this life now and you're like, I would never choose my parents. It may be that in the in-between, it was time for you to learn some sort of hard lesson. Like we come through with different lessons. My lesson in this life was losing someone, an amazing mother, being born into an amazing mother and father, but losing my mother when she was very young. So that was like a really difficult lesson that I was aware I was choosing then, but then you forget when you're born. So it's very possible that you did choose, you know, to be born into a difficult family situation, because this is a part of learning to having like this complete enlightened soul. Like there's something to learn through. So that brought so much comfort to me to like view the really difficult parts of my life as like they felt safer to me in a way. Like you know, I've gone through traumas that are separate from losing my mom that were really awful, and I'm like, you know what, it's something that it's not excusing what that person did or any of that, but I'm like, you know what, this is part of like creating a full enlightened soul. This was a lesson that I had to like go through and heal from. And because Milo goes through some really, I mean, the trigger warning for this book, there's some lives that are a lot of violence in them and they're very gnarly, and then he has other lives that are really cushy and easy and nice. So, and he chooses these, and it's like a strategy to learn. So if you feel as though you've been dealt a hard hand in life, to view it as like, this is part of my soul's journey, and this is bigger than this single life. This is many lives. And this is just a part of me becoming an enlightened soul. Like, I don't know, that just made me feel so like safe and comforted and like, okay, I'm just going to work through this. My job here is to heal and expand and grow. Like, that's my job, is to become a more complete version of me. It's a really beautiful book.
Aww.
Would recommend to everybody.
What's really special too is we have the freedom to sort of choose how we want to look at things. So even if it's very difficult or it feels, I don't know what the word is, it doesn't sit right to think, I chose this. We still can try to find some silver lining in any situation. So some of the stuff I've been through, I think, oh, I have so much empathy now for these types of situations. I have so much empathy for people who have been in an abusive relationship. I have empathy for people who've had to have certain types of surgeries. Like, I don't know if my soul maybe picked those things or if I attracted those things, but I do know that there's a level of empathy that we get as almost like the gift of going through really difficult things. Yeah. But it does sound sort of comforting to think, oh, well, I don't know. I like how you phrased it.
Yeah, it's not like an excuse for like letting things be the way they are, right? Like there's, I think it's a part of like our soul's journey is to contribute to bettering the world and making like society as a whole a safer place for all people to exist in, right? Like, but I find comfort in the idea for me, myself as an individual of like, okay, like this life is here for me to learn how to heal and become more whole and play my part in making the whole of the world better too. So
I love it.
You know, it may not be the case, but as we say with anything, it's like, hey, if it works for you and it makes life like something more inspiring and makes you push you to be better, like why not embrace that and like let that, you know, lead the way you live. So yeah, it's a really good book. I really enjoyed it. It really stuck with me.
This is going to sound, well, it's semi-related. It is. It's past lives related. So I've shared that I think I was a scullery maid.
Right.
And we were doing some chatting in the meme chat in the Patreon, and something about dolls came up. And I said, oh my gosh, I had the American Girl doll Kirsten growing up.
I had that one too.
You had Kirsten?
Because I wanted the one that looked the most like me, and she was blonde.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, and I think her background was what I am. She's Swedish? I'm Swedish.
Okay. Oh, were you like in love with her?
Yeah. I still have her somewhere.
Oh my God. That was my doll. I was obsessed with her.
Yeah.
She looked nothing.
Had all of her books.
Me too.
Yeah.
She looked, okay, this is ironic, but not. So she looks nothing like me, but I was so drawn to her. And somebody in the chat said, she kind of looks like a scullery maid. And I said, let me look up her story because I don't remember it. And I was reading her little bio, her little wiki bio.
Yeah.
Kirsten Larson. And she, people have now fast forwarded 30 seconds. They don't give a shit. But she was like this hardworking, never stopped, did everything for the family. Not what my childhood was like at all.
Yeah.
But I felt like I understood this girl. And looking back, I'm like, was this like a past life, like familiarity thing? Anyways, I thought that was funny and worth sharing.
Because I think there were dolls you could get personalized that were supposed to look like you, but they were even more expensive than an American Girl doll. And my mom was like, I'm not going to get you that, but you can pick out the American Girl doll, which are also quite pricey, if I remember.
They were.
But she's like, but I will let you pick out the one that looks the most like you. that was my happy medium, because I was like, I want a doll personalized that looks like me. And she's like, absolutely not. But these are really, really nice, and they are expensive, and we will get you one of these. That's, you know, you can do that. So
I'll have to bring my Kirsten for an episode. She's still in her original outfit. I was so depressed at the beginning of the pandemic. Like, I want to say around like May or June 2020, I was just losing it. And I dug into my closet and I was like, I just have to like brush my doll's hair and like put them in little outfits. And I'm just this grown woman doing this. And it was very relaxing. You guys know I like dolls.
Inner child healing.
Yeah. They
had to escape the current state of the world.
I just had to do it. Again. So they all look nice since then. I'll have to.
I don't know where my American Girl doll is. Obviously, I found Gretchen. Gretchen was just in my brother's room. I was like, Tommy, you just sleep with her in here? She was like upside down in a laundry basket. I was like, you can't disrespect her like that. No. She'll get you, girl, boy. But yeah, so I found Gretchen. But my American Girl doll, I'm pretty sure my mom stored safely somewhere, so I just had to find it.
Oh, well, I'll bring my Kirsten and you can reminisce. Kirsten. Oh, I love that we had the same one.
And I had all the books for most of the other girls too, I think. I had the Samantha books. I didn't have any other dolls. I only had one doll, but
I liked Josefina.
Yeah, she was one of my favorites. I had her books because they came in like little packs and it was like multiple books. I loved reading.
I want to be an American Girl doll and a Disney princess.
You can be it all.
I know, I want to be all these things.
That'd be a good Halloween costume to have like the original outfits they came in and be like an American Girl doll.
Yes. And then they had Molly. She was Jewish.
Oh, I liked Molly too. She had a good story. Yeah. I was like, there was a Jewish one, but I couldn't remember which one it was.
And then Abby.
Which one was Abby?
She was the beautiful African American one.
Oh.
Loved Abby.
Abby. And did they add more ever since
then? Yeah. They retired a lot of them, and they brought new ones in. So there's like a Hawaiian one. It's beautiful.
Wow.
And now they have boys. They have American Girl boy dolls. Oh. Let's take a trip to the store. You don't have to ask me twice.
Next week's episode is a vlog of us at the American Girl store doll. Nothing to do with spirituality or magic. We're just fun. Shopping for dolls. It's a bonus
mini-sode. Oh my gosh.
We could take Boo and put her in the doll clothes. Oh, they're like, ma'am, you have to leave. You get fleas all over.
We're going to go to the doll store. We're going to make a little vlog.
Is there a big store here?
At the Grove.
There is? Okay.
It's like 3 stories. Oh my God. Maybe 2, but it's big. I don't want
to buy everything.
I know.
I'm going to leave my wallet at home.
Doll shopping. You and me. Shopping. Doll shopping. It's the thing to do. Which brings us to intuitive living.
Intuitive living. So I, a few months ago, sort of had the like nudge to create my course, Intuition 201. And that's really the focus of it, is intuitive living, because I think we put intuition on this pedestal of something that we must attain. And it's like this thing where we get to grasp it and like pop it inside of us or something. Or like, it's like this thing that we have to like put over our heads so it like is there. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not. It exists in all of us. It's a part of all of us. Whether you know it or not, you have definitely utilized your intuition before. And intuitive living is really just about what we started talking about with the moving. It's like, it's following your body, following your heart on a day-to-day basis of like, what's the best thing for me today? And your ego might go, oh no, you need to sit down in front of your computer and write a post. You need to sit down and figure out how to make your sales better. And you need to sit down and plan the next week's podcast episode. But your intuition might say, go for a walk.
Yeah.
Go to the mall, have some fun. Yeah, go to Jamba Juice. Who knows? And your intuition might say, sit down and do some work. But it's like, it's being led by something that we're not comfortable being led by, a lot of us. And it's taken a lot of practice, but it's something that I think you and I have like mastered in the past year. So I thought the new year would be a great time for everyone to sort of lean into not just being like, okay, it's time for me to connect to my intuition right now. I'm sitting down for 20 minutes to connect to my intuition by meditating or whatever it is, but plugging into that and knowing it's available to you 24/7, and it's always there, and it always has been.
So my favorite way to do this is to remember when we were little children, we knew how to do the day. Like, we would wake up, and then we immediately felt like playing with such and such. And then we had a desire to go outside. And then we had a desire to eat a snack. And then we really wanted to sort of connect with a friend. So maybe we would go down the street and go be with a friend for another. And then we wanted to rest. Like, we would go through our day as little kids, and we sort of made choices all day long intuitively. So I love practicing that now, because even if I do have a list of things to get done, it's like, well, if this can wait till tomorrow, or if this can wait till an hour from now, and right now my body is like, you know, we need to get some sunshine, or we need to have a FaceTime call and laugh with a good friend. Like, it's sort of, it seems like this big mystical woo-woo thing of like, how do I deepen my intuition? It's really just tapping back into your body, because your body is going to tell you throughout the day what you need. Oh,
Boo's licking me.
She's giving you little kisses.
These are the stinkiest kisses I ever smelled in my life. Oh, you reek. You smell like poop. Oh, you're so cute, so I don't care.
And I know Sadie's quite brilliant at transparently documenting this on her Instagram. She'll be like, oh, taking a walk now. Oh, going roller skating. Oh, doing that. Oh, time to do a dance class. Time to sit down and do work. Time to meditate. And it's not that these things, even though she is an organized Virgo, it's not that these things are on a list and they have to happen at a certain time during the day. It's sort of like moving through your day with flow. And I think when I worked with preschoolers and when I nannied, it's that similar thing. It's like they have their own rhythms, and you sort of have to like listen. You become good at listening to their bodies and what their needs are and what they need. And even if it's quote unquote time to sit down and quietly read a book, they might need intuitively to be running around outside for another 30 minutes. So being around children, I think, is a great way to practice intuition, because you'll see it working in them on autopilot, at least until they're 7. It's our natural state. It's really it's not about rising to this higher intuitive state. It's about sort of going back home to what is natural to us to begin with.
Yeah, I think like an important part about being very open to your intuition is like raising your vibration. So like taking care of yourself, being mindful of how you're feeling, doing things like meditation and movement and you know, eating well and all those things that like sort of like just like raise your vibration and make you feel good. But it's not this thing that you have to like grasp towards. Like it's always inside of your body. And that is why when you are moving and, you know, eating things that feel good to eat, which I mean, intuitive eating is a whole like movement, which is amazing and important. It happens naturally, and it's such a hard thing to like try and like teach and pinpoint because it comes with practice. But I think the aha moment came for me when I was like, oh, it's not something outside of me that I'm trying to connect to.
Yeah.
It's something inside of me that I just have to learn to allow to, I don't know, like take a step forward more than my ego, or like take up more space, like expand within me. Like I envision it in like my my like solar plexus chakra, and like allowing it to like expand and take up more space in my body and like light up my whole body.
And I know what you're thinking. Some of you are saying, I work 9 to 6 and I have to do things by a certain time. So try practicing this on Sundays. Just start there. Try practicing it on a day, or even in a chunk of time, even if you have an hour at night when it's like, okay, this is my hour. What do I feel like doing? What do I desire to do? What is my gut leading me to do? I know I should fold the laundry. I know I should do this, but I really am being called to take a bath right now. It's stuff like that. That is the building block of intuition, is listening to your body and what it wants. And if you listen, it will always tell you. It will always tell you. It's the same sort of thing that's where it's like, gosh, I'm craving a chicken. You know, it's that it comes from that same place that just knows what it wants.
And I know a lot of our examples sound like don't work and go for a walk instead, but that's because intuition calls you to like be still or move or whatever, take a break, because it wants to show you like a simpler, easier way to do something than struggling through something when you're not feeling good, not feeling like yourself. So I think like one of the most I lost my train of thought again. God damn it. My brain is fried today. I'm like, our first week back. I was gonna say, I think an easy way to start trying to listen to your body more is something that I like to start my intuitive course is literally like moving your hips, because that really grounds you in your body and makes you become ultra present in your body. And especially if you have a hard time being still and you want to practice more stillness in terms of like meditation to open up to like the downloads, like that movement before opening up to that is really incredible. And I will say I've started to like, this was before I started moving, but I just started moving my hips every day, like just like literally like going like this, like in my chair more and stuff, or like when I'm walking I'll like be really dramatic and like really throw my hips out just like around the house and stuff. And I feel as though it's made a huge difference, because it's pulling myself back into and like feeling the way I exist in our bodies. And especially as women, like our intuition is so powerful and it's so connected to like our womb and to our, I think like our solar plexus sacral root area. So giving that area of your body like love by like moving it is super, super important. And it's a really simple way. Like you don't have to do it with the intention of like, when I shake my hips, I'm gonna get a download, but just try and do that every day and see how you feel and see the difference it makes. Because it's kind of bizarre and really incredible how it's really ripples up throughout your body, and then before you know it, you're going to be like, oh, I just got a download. Oh, I just got a nudge. Like, where did that come from?
I just gotta chill.
It came from your hips. Your hips don't lie. That's where that phrase came from.
Ooh. Ooh.
I don't know if that's true, but that feels like it, because your hips are shaking those hips is very connected to your intuition.
Such a fun name for like a master class.
Hips don't lie. Maybe I'll do that. I want to do an intuition master class on 1/11, which will be the day after this comes out. So maybe I'll call it Hips Don't Lie, because I was going to start it with dancing.
Oh, hey!
Because that's, I did that in Activate Your Magic. I put a Beyonce song on and I made them all dance with me on one of our live calls.
I love that.
Before we like sat down and did a spell and a meditation, and it felt really good. So I think that was like maybe our first or second live call. It was really fun. So that's how I was going to start that. So maybe I'll do that. Hips Don't Lie. And that's the song we'll dance to.
Yeah.
That's some good hip shaking music. But yeah, and like honoring your inner child is a great way to connect to your intuition, because as we were just saying, like when you're a child, it's so much easier. So like dressing, like Juliet and I have embraced this year, like how your kid, I just got like my ultimate dream kid nails inspired by Lisa Frank.
Love it.
I've been using my roller skates more. I've been dancing because I know that connects me to me as a child, because that's when I danced. So anything that like you love to do as a child, trying to do that's gonna encourage your intuition to come forward. Do you have more ideas?
I think the biggest thing is just being really kind and gentle to your ego and your thoughts and the voice in your head as you embark on any of these things. So whether you're dancing or playing or going moment by moment, or maybe lying down or sitting down to do a meditation or yoga, whatever it is, your thought, any thought that comes up that's negative and not helpful, use that as an opportunity to say, oh, that's not intuition. That's the ego mind. Okay, I hear you. And don't try to shut it off, because truly it is going, as long as we have a brain, it is going to do its thing. So I think my best even when I'm giving a reading, sometimes like these messages will come through, and then I'll hear this voice that's like, you're just making this happen. You don't know what you're doing. And I'm like, okay, thank you. Sit down for a second. Yep. So a big part of being intuitive is practicing it, is practicing listening to your body, practicing going through a day, an evening, an hour, 30 minutes in flow with what you desire, tuning in, and just being very, very open to the imperfectness of it, to the little voice that might come in. Just being really gentle to yourself, because we live quite intuitively and we still have plenty of the opposite arising in us.
Yes.
Often.
I have a great example of when my ego was taking the lead.
Okay.
Because, and this happens every once in a while, and of course rest is so important, but I felt like I was getting I was needing rest more often than I was like, this can't be right, kind of thing. And this was a while ago, the last time this happened. But, you know, I was like, okay, I'm feeling like I need to rest. I'm feeling like I need to take a break. You know, I'm just going to honor that. I'm going to spend the day on the couch or whatever. And I felt like that was happening more often than I wanted it to, but I was accepting of it. And then I got this intuitive nudge where it was like, that's your ego. Your ego's tricking you and thinking that intuitively you should rest. But your ego's resisting, and you don't have to sit down and work, but you need to move. And that's one of the ways I realized movement was more important to me, was that my ego said, I can sound like intuition if I need to, because I'm getting really good. So my ego's getting smarter, I think. And my ego said, you need to rest.
Okay, so
I thought it was my intuition.
Let's unpack this. So how were you able to tell the difference? Because I think that's one of the biggest questions we get is, how do you tell the difference?
So I realized, well, my intuition gave me a nudge where it was like, no. You're getting stuck and stagnant, and you're choosing the wrong way to get out of that. It's not about being still. It's about resting by moving. But I think for me, it was like, it was a procrastination and an avoidance thing. It was things that I couldn't figure out that I wanted to like do. I think I was stressing over like a launch or something.
Okay.
And planning it out. And I kept being like, it's okay, I should rest. It's okay, I should rest. I was avoiding something. Not necessarily, I don't know if I can call it procrastination because I set my own schedule and calendar, but kind of. It was, so like anything where you're like avoiding or procrastinating is probably your ego, because your intuition is trying to lead you somewhere and you're resisting. And if maybe, like, I've gotten pretty good at, I have doubt about this, I'm going to go for it anyway. I have fear around this, I'm going to go for it anyway. So my ego was like, what if we try something different? I feel like, I don't know if this is clear. It's so hard to describe these things. I hope we do a good job over time describing like what ego sounds like, because it's so different for everybody. But for me, I found its new thing was like, what if we rest today instead of dealing with that problem? And I was like, yeah, my intuition is telling me to rest. And then finally my intuition was like, you don't have to sit down and attack this problem the way you were by like sitting in front of your desk and stressing about it, but being still and watching TV isn't doing anything for you. Those days are important too, of course, like not doing anything, but I was avoiding.
Okay, so what came through was a very sneaky force of resistance. That's what that was.
Yep.
So I have a little bonus in Confident Goddess where I dive into resistance, imposter syndrome, and something else. Blocks. But resistance is a tricky little guy because it's a force of the universe like any other force, and it comes in sounding like it means well. And it typically takes the form of, oh, we'll start tomorrow. It loves to push it off till tomorrow. If you have a desire to be an actor, but you always say, oh, maybe next month I'll take the acting class.
And it's very easy to go, my intuition is telling me next month.
Yeah, that's resistance. Resistance is sneaky. So ego comes in and ego is like, right? Intuition is, oh. Even if it's get out of the bank.
Yeah, it's just,
double check that you locked the car. But it's much more direct and unemotional. And then resistance comes in and it's a sneaky little guy. And I think it's separate from the other two. I think that's why it tripped you up.
Yeah.
Because it says, oh, no,
you should rest. Just
wait. Just, you know what? It's not a good time. Just another year.
And then my intuition was like, bitch, if you go for a walk, the solution will come through loud and clear.
Yeah.
If you go for a walk, you're going to move this stuck energy throughout you that's telling you that you can't do it this way, when in reality you can. Or like, it's like, if you go for a walk, if you move your body, if you shake your hips, you'll see it from a new perspective. And that was the case. As soon as I moved my body, I think I just like, I'm so affected by the fucking weather. And I think it had been gray skies for like a week. And I wasn't going out and I just couldn't do it. And I thought my intuition was like, just rest, Sadie, just rest. And then I was like, no.
So the way that you can always pinpoint resistance is if things continue to get pushed off over and over and over and over and over. If you're saying, you know what, I don't want to do this right now, I'll do it later tonight, and then you do it later tonight or the next day and then you actually do it, it's not really resistance. But if it's this overwhelming thing of, oh, it's just never a good time, and it comes in sounding almost very convincing.
Well, and this is the thing. When it's resistance or it's ego, there's going to be lots of reasons.
So many reasons.
Intuition, no reason.
No reason.
If intuition tells you don't do this project right now, you're not going to hear because it's not the right time, because you're not ready yet, because
people won't like it, people won't like you, and you're gonna make a fool of yourself. And,
anything that's not intuition is gonna have a million excuses and a million reasons. There's lots of reasoning that comes along with anything that's not intuition, where intuition is just like, look, this is the way it is. It like mic drops and then it dips.
A great example, Sadie said, we're starting a podcast and this is what it's called.
Yep.
And then my ego went, well, I don't know, because blah, 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 blah. And my intuition said, no, you're going to do it.
Yeah.
That was so perfect. Intuition does not have a reason.
And that's the basis of what I like teach in my course is like, when things have a reason, it's not your intuition. Your intuition doesn't try and reason with you. Your intuition will never convince you. Your intuition is just this zap of do with that what you will. And it might come back around to remind you about it. It might say, look, I told you to do this thing and you haven't done it. It might come back, but it's not going to come back with reasons. It's not going to come back trying to convince you. It's like, I don't want to say your intuition doesn't give a fuck, because it does, but it kind of doesn't. It's just like, I'm not going to sit around here and try to convince you. I know I'm right.
Yeah.
You know when you know you're right and you're like, you can try and convince me all day.
I'm not going to argue with you. Goodbye.
Like, your intuition is that. It's just like, I'm going to let you know, but then it's up to you. And then your ego comes and says this and this and this and then this, or the resistance comes and says, no, this and this. So whenever there's conversations happening, don't listen to them. When the thing comes and it's that and then that's it, then the conversations probably start around it. The thing that doesn't have the conversation, that's not arguing, that's intuition.
Like the intuition. Okay, let me share. I'm going to be super open. I'm going to put it into the universe. Victor and I were watching the newer Mary Poppins with Lin-Manuel Miranda, and
I haven't seen that, but I love Lin-Manuel. I got a shiver when you said his name. I love him so much.
This is what this is about.
I couldn't watch it because I'm so in love with him.
Okay,
I could barely watch Hamilton.
Okay, listen, I'm going to know him.
I'm gonna throw up.
I know it. I can't explain why. I just know. I was watching Mary Poppins and I was like, I know him. We're gonna write some stuff together at some point.
I feel emotional.
Oh no, Sadie's gonna cry.
I love it so much.
I know, I kind of do too. But I think we're going to be like, I literally, I was like,
he would be my second boyfriend?
Gladly. I mean, I think he's married. I don't know what his arrangement
I'll be his
is.
second wife. It's fine.
But
we're all modern people here.
I was just like, oh, we're going to like have this beautiful musical relationship. I just felt it. I just felt it.
I'm gonna pass
maybe in
out.
10 years, but we can loop back. You know what's fun about
this is me dead after things? You. After I meet him, I'm just gonna die happily.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I felt it so strong as I looked. I was like, I know this man.
I know him too.
That's intuition. You just freaking know.
And then as you're kind of shy to share that and you're like, well, maybe I won't, whatever, that's ego.
No, I'm going to know him. We're going to send each other Christmas cards. Sadie's going to need to be sedated.
Hospitalized.
But that was the most recent thing that came in clear as a bell.
Wow. I can't wait for him to be a guest on Gotta Sayings.
Oh my God.
This is actually a dream of mine to be. I'm not a comedian, so I don't know how I'll be on it. But isn't there another show that's like this, like the comedians in cars getting coffee where they're all in the car together? Mm-hmm. I want to be on a show like that, but it's me and Lin-Manuel Miranda driving across America.
Sadie and Lin-Manuel Miranda in a car drinking coffee.
Singing all of Hamilton together because I know every word and we're both singing all the parts because it's too hard not to. I can't.
Yeah.
Me and my friend Claire tried to do Aaron Burr and Hamilton and we both just end up singing both of them because it's too hard. But I mean, I know every word and I'm really good at it. You remember at the shop I was always playing it.
I see his name in my inbox.
Yeah.
I see.
But that's one of my dreams is to ride in a car with him and just belt out all of Hamilton.
I'll do what I can. I'll try my best. But yeah, that was my most recent, the voice that came in and was like, you're going to know this person. And then before that, it was like, you're going to create a course called Confident Goddess, and you're going to help women come home to themselves, and you're going to change their lives. And I was like, who am I?
That came to fruition on the podcast. You were talking about it, and I was like, that's a course, right? And you were like, yeah.
So many things happen while we're in this space.
I know.
But I was like, I just have to put that out there because I just know we're going to write together, and then it's like one of our projects is going to do so well. And then, like when you get an applause and then you do your hands like to the other person, we're both going to do that to each other. And I'm like, oh, thank you, Lin-Manuel.
And I'll be in the crowd like this. Just sobbing uncontrollably.
Because my music days are just beginning, it's just beginning.
Oh my God.
So
can't wait to star in a musical you two write together.
Oh my God, I want to be in a musical. Let's be in this musical.
That's my other, I'm not a good singer, but I'm
sorry. Yes, you are. We've been singing together.
Well, I would say I'm really good at improvisation of singing, but I don't have a good singing voice.
But you've got the chutzpah.
I got the chutzpah.
We can train a voice.
Well, I need to start then because I want to be in a musical so bad.
Oh my God, wait.
Are we going to write a Goddess Hangs musical?
Wait, maybe. Do you know what one I want to be in? I've always wanted to be in Hairspray playing Penny Pingleton. She was like my dream role.
Oh my God.
I was her in 11th grade for Halloween, and I had the pigtails and the like little dress, and I walked around with the lollipop, and people were like, "Are you a teacher?" I was like, "No, I'm Penny Pingleton."
Since I was because I always danced, so that was my way of like, that was the closest thing I could get to, because I love performing. Surprise, surprise. I love performing, and we didn't really have musicals in Marshfield, so like dance class was the closest I got to performing. And one year I did join this like singing group, and we learned all of the songs in Mary Poppins off of cassette tapes, and then got together for like a week, and like all summer we had to learn them ourselves off of this cassette. I had these cassette tapes that I'd sing along with. I have no idea what this thing was. Has anyone else been part of a singing program like this? They sent us a cassette tape, and then we got together for like 1 week, and then we all wore the same t-shirt and stood like a choir and sang Mary Poppins.
That's so cute.
It was so fun. But that was the closest I got.
I will think deeply about Goddess Hangs the musical. I'm not sure. I mean, I know I could write one, but what would it be? Spells, oh spells, look at us casting our spells,
it's the story of the first year of Goddess Hangs in a musical. New York City! And then we're in Las Vegas, and then we're over here. Stuff like that.
I'll take some notes.
The story of Goddess Hangs. Or, maybe I'll take some voice lessons, and I'll just I'll find a local musical group I can join. I mean, that's always been.
We're going to achieve all of our dreams this year.
I will be in a musical at some
intuitively guided. Our passions in life, the things we love, are usually intuitively guided.
Yeah.
I
think in a recent past life, I was like a Broadway star.
Of course you were.
Yeah. And I just didn't. The voice didn't carry over, but the passion carried over. Because that's what I always did. And I love driving in the car, because I turn on a musical and I belt it out and I like perform it. I don't know how many times on the freeway in LA, like on the way to work, I would turn and someone was filming me. I'm surprised
Really?
I'm not a viral. I'm so scared of the day that goes viral.
Well, it'll be cute.
At least 10 times.
And you can say, that's me, take that down.
Yeah. At least 10 times I've turned and been like, because I'm like singing, blasting Hamilton most of the time.
Lately, I've been all about The Greatest Showman. We've talked about that.
God.
I know.
When I was just in New York City, Hugh Jackman's in a new musical, and we walked past the theater it's in, and he was huge on the thing. I was like, do you think he's in there? Should we try and go in? Oh my God. Yeah, Greatest Showman. Also
Intuitive living. Another way. Intuitive, did you say?
Intuitive magic
oracle.
And break. You want to tap more deeply into your intuition, but you don't know where to start? Shake your hips and grab Intuitive Magic Oracle, Goddess.
Lace up those roller skates and pick a card. Let the magic begin. This deck has it all.
I think our new thing is we pick a card every episode.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. What do we need to know today?
What is something that we need to know today that can help us deepen our intuition?
That's what I was going to say. How can we support ourselves living more intuitively every single day?
I love it. Oh, are you kidding me?
What is it?
Movement!
Oh my God. If you're not watching this, she shuffled it. It came out.
It says, express yourself through movement, listen to your body's wisdom, dance to release.
Oh, I think we need to host a Goddess Hangs dance party.
I know. That would be fun. Fit Witch, Intuitive Fit Witch 2022. It's a festival. It's a live music festival, and there's a bounce house. Okay, no, I'm just...
There's roller skates for hire, for rent, whatever. It's a roller skating rink.
Anywho, these are truly the best cards on the market. I'm not just saying that because they're ours. They are easy to understand. They have a big font. They're easy to read. You don't need a booklet. You don't need any experience. You can't do it wrong. You can't do it too often. All the cards are... helpful, specific, uplifting.
And there's 60 of them.
That's
way more than most decks have. We couldn't narrow it down, and we were like, you know what? We're going to leave them all in.
Yeah. So, Intuitive Magic Oracle deck, tap into your intuition. Buy it now at goddesshangs.com. Also sponsored by... the Goddess Hangs BFF Patreon.
Have you wanted a group of nearly 60 best friends, probably 60 by the time this episode comes out, that are into witchy stuff, have a great sense of humor, are here to support you on your spiritual journey, and so much more?
This is the place. This week I had an emotional awakening of how special this group is. There are so many beautiful young moms in this group who are at home with their little newborn babies or their little elementary school kids, and with everything going on in the world or with their families living other places, this group has allowed them to connect to other mommies and to help each other through these long days.
Yeah, we have a mom chat specifically, and I don't say a lot in there, but I'm there and I'm peeping, and it's so sweet how they support each other and the different ages their children are, and it's very inspiring, and it makes me excited to be a mom in the mommy group.
So we have a space for mamas. We have a space for people with fur babies.
Yes.
We share all the animal pictures. We have a space now called Movement is Magic.
Yes, that's a New Year's one.
We have a space that is for a book club that's popping off. We have some bachelorette stuff with a new season upon us. We have spooky and psychic experiences, questions. You can always lean on one another. We are not kidding when we say these are the 50 to 60 most kind-hearted, genuine, lovely people we have ever come across. I can't remember my life before it.
I'm like, what if I never met you guys? How devastating would that be?
It would be devastating. We are there for each other. We hold each other through tough days. We inspire each other. We make each other laugh. There's a meme chat. It is a totally customizable, create your own experience. You can chat. You can send 100 messages a day. You can send one a week. It's whatever you want to do. There's no pressure, but it's about being in the energy of this awesome sisterhood and getting to chat with me and Sadie every day, all day long.
Yeah, it's really what you want to make of it. Even myself, over the holidays, like I wasn't spending quite as much time interacting in it, like actually texting, but it just felt good to be there and sort of scrolling through at my leisure and knowing everyone was still there and involved. And, you know, even I didn't respond for a couple days, but then when I came back, it felt so good. I felt like I had missed my best friend, which was the truth. So yeah, it's like as much as you want to chat every day or as little, we just love having the group energy there. And it's really incredible to see the new, intuitive projects that are starting to form because of the way that everyone uplifts each other. My favorite place is truly the marketplace chat, where we get to see the witchy and spiritual and entrepreneurial ventures of the goddesses in the Patreon, and how exciting it is to see everyone supporting each other within that. And and just getting to just see businesses grow and new businesses start, all because like of the support of the chat. It's really an inspirational place to be, and that's been my favorite part recently, is just seeing like, wow, you guys are starting to make new things, and there's so much like buzz and excitement, because that's the hardest part, is starting and not being really sure who it's safe to talk to about, because you don't want the doubters, you know, you want the people that are going to be supportive. You don't know how people might receive it. We've got a group for you. Everyone's just so excited. It's the perfect space to just be uplifted and supported in every way. And that's kind of been my favorite thing recently, is just seeing people be like, I think I'm going to start this thing, and everyone go, oh my God, we can't wait. It's been really magical to see that come to life.
And for those of us who grew up in the tail end of the generation of movies that pinned women against one another.
Yep.
Every movie, every TV show, even back to Disney movies, it was like the young pretty princess against the mean older woman. I mean, it's just been sort of ingrained into us. I was talking to Victor about this. I was like, men grow up watching football teams work together and celebrate. Like women grow up seeing women compete with each other.
That's so true.
And it's this thing that maybe we don't even realize we have within us. You join a group like this, and your whole perspective of sisterhood and women supporting women really transforms fast.
Yeah. So even I have always been a little fearful of large groups of women, admittedly. Like I've just never been comfortable, and I don't know why. Probably because of that. It's like sororities always intimidated me. I never joined one. I thought that was terrifying to me.
Well, think about historically, like when women come together, we're very powerful. We're very intuitive. We're very wise. So of course, systemically, you want to avoid that. So it gets written into movies and books and TV shows, and then we in turn see it on TV and recreate it in our lives. And anyways, if you're ready to join just the loveliest group of women you've ever met, who want to know about your day, your achievements, your hardships, your witchy spells, what you bought that day.
Yep. Shout out shopping hall chat.
It's just, I really can't. You know, it's so funny, because sometimes when you quote unquote sell something, there's a feeling of like, oh, I'm just trying to get somebody to buy something. I cannot tell you how much it will behoove you to be in this group. I don't feel like I'm selling anything. I feel like I'm announcing how special this is. So it's really profound. And that's the second thing to the third
is it the wait list?
Yeah.
We have something very exciting launching. We are going to start the official launch very, very soon. But right now, you can already hop on the wait list for our brand new duo coaching program. That's right. For the first time ever, we're coming together to teach a coaching program called Quantum Goddess, where we will be helping you, supporting you, giving you the tools to quantum leap this year in whatever capacity you decide to. So this is for the goddess that already has some clarity on what you're ready to quantum leap in, and we're ready to take that project, that idea, and bring it to life with you.
It's going to be an amazing 3-month program. At the beginning, you'll have your vision, your idea, perhaps the business you want to start, the art you want to create, the social media presence you want to build, whatever it is. And we're going to coach you and support you with a small cohort of like-minded goddesses. And at the end of these 3 months, you will not believe how much magic and transformation has happened. We're all going to hold each other accountable. There will be a magical show and tell at the end, and you'll be like, you know, ready to hit what is it? Off to the races.
Off to the races.
You'll be ready to go.
If you are like, I kind of have an idea, is this for me? Absolutely. This is just not for the person that has no idea.
Right.
So if you have just the inkling of what you want to create, that's great. We'll start there, and we'll start to get clarity and bring a clarified, strong plan. We have both had so much experience creating in the past year and a half or so. And you've seen so much happen with us in Goddess Hangs. We've created a deck. We've created this amazing community. We've manifested incredible opportunities for ourselves. We've both separately created incredible programs that have helped so many women. So we're ready to come together to help you do what we do, which is create beautiful, aligned, impactful projects. So we're so excited to be able to like come together and bring both of our expertise in and
quantum leap quickly.
Yeah.
So Quantum Goddess, join the waitlist if that creates some sparkles in your heart.
Yeah, so there will be limited spaces because we want to keep this as an intimate group that we can fully support each of you. It's going to be 3 months together, and it's going to be really fucking powerful.
I know. I can't wait.
I can't wait.
And you know how Sadie and I love celebrating one another's success, and you can expect that same amount, if not more, excitement, support, enthusiasm for whatever it is that you're doing. We really love seeing other goddesses succeed.
It's
going to be a beautiful program.
So I think that's it for today.
Yes, we dove into our New Year's resolutions. We pulled the movement card naturally. We talked about intuitive living and how important it is. And honestly, you made intuitive living sound, I think, a lot simpler than people think. Because I think there's like a thought of, well, maybe I have to buy 80 crystals and cleanse my home every 3 hours and sit down and meditate for 40 minutes. And it's really just about following the desires of your body and your heart.
And when you get used to intuitively living, you'll wake up in the morning, you'll say, I need to cleanse the house today. I think I'll go buy a clear quartz crystal or whatever it is. That might happen too, but
you'll know.
It's not a part of, it's not the goal of it, right? You just know. You just move through your day with a sense of knowing, and it's so peaceful to move through your day in that way. So I'm excited. And if you want to dive even deeper into intuitive living, I have Intuition 201, which is a self-paced course. It takes you through even deeper what we talked about today. There's exercises. We also talk about the clairs and the spirit world and the more woo-woo side of intuition, which is really, really fun. And I think that I am going to be hosting a live intuition masterclass as well, which I think is going to be next week. So when this comes out tomorrow,
hurry
now. But I'm just so passionate about intuitive living because it's really changed our lives, and it just feels good.
It really does.
And it will change your life. So I'm so excited we got to chat about that today. Make sure you're following us on Instagram at Goddess Hangs. I am Sadie Olson.
I'm at Juliet.Piper.
We have all of our goodies available to purchase: our oracle deck, our Goddess Hangs jewelry, our goddess necklace, our witch necklace, our BFF charm bracelet, our magic charm ring. We have really cute goddess hats and witch hats. And make sure you join the Patreon and join in on the fun. We're so excited to connect with more of you. Did I cover everything?
I think you did.
Okay, goddesses, we will see you next week. Bye.